on this amazing slugfest.
Thanks, Riv. And gentlemen, we are going to Game 5.
I am so freaking hyped for this Game 5 right now. I thought it was going to be 3-0 for Cloud9. 3-1. It's going to be 3-2. Either way right now. These teams, they have so much stress on them. This is just so good.
And there is so much on the line now, and the pressure is mounting more than it ever has. So let's look at both of these teams individually in terms of what they need to do to perform at their utmost in this final game. Cloud9, Zyrene hit me.
Cloud9, high. He didn't have a good game. He needs to turn it around. His level 1 stuff, those shenanigans cost them that early game lead, which TSM did not let up the pressure, and they just kept their foot on the gas. Dyrus got snowballing. He seems to be one of the most emotional players that is currently on that stage. We saw him in a Game 5 versus LMQ. He went absolutely crazy. Is he going to do it again? I think he might.
All right, and on TSM's side, we just called out Dyrus for picking it up, but Bjergsen, he's been playing pretty well so far this series, Pobelter.
Yeah, his ultimate's onto the... Because, like, what would happen every single time was Dyrus would walk up with his ultimate, root Sneaky, and then Bjergsen would just land every single ultimate, and Sneaky would die.
Yeah, there's definitely an aspect of a lack of dive on the side of Cloud9. Is there a pick other than Mundo maybe they should have gone for, seeing that Xerath, saying we're going to have to get to him to keep Sneaky alive?
I think the problem wasn't really the Mundo because, like, really what else could you pick? Like, most of the good diving meta champions were banned, Alistar, Maokai. I think the problem was in the early pick Nunu. And so TSM was really good on recognizing that they would run a Protect the Kog'Maw comp with little engage. And so that Xerath pick was just really perfect.
All right, let's go into a replay about 28 minutes in. It's a 4-for-0 by TSM, and it's a perfect example of what you were talking about here, Pobelter, with the lockdown of the Kog'Maw and then the Xerath ults to follow up. So I'm going to let you explain this one for us.
So we can roll the clip. Sneaky's been playing like pretty well so far. He's just been evading and living very closely every time. They're just kind of kiting around right now, poking each other. And then, yeah, so C9 is starting to get very low from the Xerath poke. They start the TSM starts the Dragon because C9 is so low. And right here, C9 should just back off. It's impossible for them to win this fight because they're so poked. Nunu actually does get the Smite steal. But Dyrus, like I said, he just starts running it Sneaky with his ultimate, gets the root off. Bjergsen gets all the ultimates on him. Everyone else is getting destroyed by Amazing and Turtle right now. And TSM just cleans them up.
There's just so much poke on the side of TSM with that Xerath. And I love seeing that pick come out because it's somewhat unconventional when you do have those assassins on the board that would normally play into beating it pretty well.
Yeah, Xerath is really good at killing the Kog'Maw because he just outranges him. And in a Protect the Kog'Maw comp, once the Kog'Maw dies, you're pretty much screwed. There's nothing you can do because you have no damage.
Well, and then we see TSM. Right, they go straight to Baron, they pick that up, and they just rolled that momentum so well into a victory. So they've got to feel pretty hot coming into this last game.
They've been in this situation before, and Cloud9 has never been pushed this much in a best-of-5, in a playoff game in North America. They had something along these lines at Worlds with a best-of-3, but nothing like this. They lost 2 games, their first 2 playoff losses ever against TSM. This is huge for TSM, and it's pretty big for Cloud9, too. They have to win this.
That's a pretty good point there. The fact that Cloud9 has yet to really be contested in the NA playoffs. So there's got to be some questions that arise in terms of their mental endurance, their ability to play out a 5-game series in a situation that they may have expected to be able to, run away with.
Yeah, and speaking of that situation that they thought they were going to run away with, I have the regular season stats right here. These mean absolutely nothing right now. These are my stats from the last 4 games. These mean absolutely nothing right now in comparison to what's going down in this single game. All of that past means nothing at this moment. It is what those players are going to do on that stage, their picks, their bans, their play, their level 1, and what they do with the advantages they create for themselves in the lanes. I am so hyped for this game right now. I can barely contain it. I cannot wait to get in there.
And Jat, we heard Jat talking about the mind games that are going to be played going into this final game because of the fact that they are switching sides, strategies have worked, they haven't worked, things like that. So Pobelter, TSM, once again, they're having their huddle. What are Loco and Reggie telling to their players right now when it comes to picks and bans?
You know, I have no clue, but I'm sure he's just trying to keep them together, you know, making sure they don't get too cocky. I think if they can get high on another farm-style champion, then that'll be very good for them, so that's probably what their draft will aim for.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll see if any of this gets done. It's going to be a wild ride, to say the least. We do have to take one final break, but if you have any other Labor Day plans, cancel them, because we're going to Game 5 between Cloud9 and TSM. Our Championship Monday continues after this.
I don't care if you win or lose, but let's have fun.
Hey, wait,
Slowly the health bar is drained down, but that's the AoE that Amazing and the rest of the team really can't get caught in. That's the shockwave that he wanted. Lustboy on the backside, that all starting down. Bjergsen is just raining in damage, and he does find sneaking. 1-1 and 7. Oh man, actually
He's
this could
caught.
be huge. What a lockdown. Oh, the artillery coming in from Bjergsen on the backside. Could this finalize him? No, it's gonna be wild.
There's gonna be a penalty. One more.